Hey, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today I want to talk about Call of Duty Warzone. So, Call of Duty Warzone, I really like so far. I do. I don't want to say definitively whether or not it's good or bad because it's been out for 24 hours. I've gotten maybe about 5 or 6 hours of playtime so far. That is not enough to determine whether or not this is a good mode. It's going to have to, stand the test of time for at least a month or so, and we'll see what happens then, because when it comes to the community, a lot of people are liking this a lot. Like, it's very, very praised by the community right now. But of course, that happens all the time. That's the thing. I'm not what all these YouTubers are saying about it doesn't faze me, because they said the same thing about Blackout, and then a month later they didn't touch Blackout again. They're gonna do the same thing here. I predict it every time it happens. They say, "Oh my God, this is the most fun I've had in Call of Duty in years," and then a week or two later they're gone back playing some other game. That always happens. So it is the honeymoon period, but for me, I don't like to think about the honeymoon period. I like to just think, okay, I like to think about the future. How will this gameplay stack up for weeks on end? And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about here. Whether or not I think it's good right now. Of course, like I said, that doesn't definitively say if it's good or bad. It's just how it is right now. I'm going to talk about what needs to be better, what should be improved, but also just what's already good about it, the pros and cons. That's what I want to do. So let's start off with the pros, because there's definitely a lot of pros to this mode. And I'm going to compare it to Blackout a little bit. I'm also going to compare it to Modern Warfare multiplayer a bit. So just hear me out on these points. I'm comparing them in order to kind of gain a better understanding and kind of better explanation to you guys about what I'm referring to. So when they announced the Battle Royale for this mode, I was kind of nervous because this game is really slow. Okay, multiplayer, not Warzone. Multiplayer is really slow, right? And there's a few reasons why that is. It has to do with the really fast time to kill, the red dots in the minimap, and just the fact that the footsteps are really loud for a long time. It's just people just want to, and how the map's designed as well. People just want to camp a lot in multiplayer. So it's unfortunate that that's the case, but that's why I was really worried about Battle Royale. I was like, are we going to get the same situation, and is this going to be the slowest Battle Royale in history? Especially because they said the map is like 4 times the size of Blackout, but it's only 150 players. So this is going to be slow. I knew that was. And the thing about Battle Royale is it's okay if it's a little slow. That's fine. But it shouldn't be too slow, right? I want to have some action every now and then. And I feel like Blackout had a pretty good, there was good moments where you had, you loot, you have peace, and then there's moments where it's really hectic and crazy. You need a good combination of the two. You can't just be completely crazy, never stop the action, gameplay, and you can't have I'm looking for a person for 30 years and I can't find anybody type gameplay either. Now, obviously, you can't base it off of one game. This is obviously based off of multiple games, but Warzone feels fast. It does. It feels a lot better. It feels a lot faster than multiplayer, and multiplayer is 6v6 on small maps, even the 10v10. It's so much faster, and honestly, why is that? Probably because of the red dots in the minimap. That's why they should have that in multiplayer. I didn't think I would, but I love the red dots in the minimap in Battle Royale. I thought that was stupid at first. I'm like, okay, that should be in multiplayer, that should not be in Battle Royale. Just do a switcheroo. But it actually really does make the mode faster. You see red dots and you say, oh, I'm gonna go there, and that starts a gunfight. That also makes people less likely to just blare their guns everywhere, because they know, I'm gonna get caught. So they're more cautious about it. They're not just gonna go guns a-blazing. People get more tactical that way. Also, suppressors are now more useful as well, which is nice. So suppressors actually have a use. I would never use a suppressor in Modern Warfare multiplayer. There's really no reason to. You have the little compass, I know, but who cares? No one really looks at the compass. But it really does increase the speed of this mode when red dots are appearing, because you're gonna shoot your gun a lot. You are. But that just makes gunfights happen more often. You're not going to come across somebody, you hear them in the distance, but you don't know exactly where they are, so you just keep moving along. No, now you see the red dot. You know where they are. So people are more cautious to start shooting around. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just really works well, and it makes it fun. That's something this multiplayer needs. That's something Warzone has. Also, there's no skill-based matchmaking, apparently. Now, that's just what the devs said. Obviously, they could be lying, but I don't think they're lying. But again, that's another thing where it's like, okay, well, why isn't that the case in multiplayer as well? Okay? But I'm glad it's on Warzone. That makes me happy, because I don't want to have to deal with skill-based matchmaking. I've seen enough of that in multiplayer. but it's nice to have Warzone not including that type of crap. Now, let's talk about the map. I love how detailed the map is. It is insanely detailed. Now, Blackout, it was detailed, but you can tell there were some areas in Blackout where they kind of just didn't include as much because, yes, of course, bigger maps are going to be less detailed than 6v6 maps or even zombie maps because they're smaller, so they detail them more. But something like a Blackout Battle Royale map, they're not going to detail as much, which makes sense. But they actually did a pretty good job of detailing the map in this, which, yeah, I guess it makes sense because these maps are also appearing in other locations, like in Ground War, and some of the maps are, you know, the 6v6 maps and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like it was just normal for them to do it. Like, it wouldn't make sense for them not to, because it would look off if you have these really detailed areas and then you just have these really undetailed areas outside of it. So they kind of had to go through and detail the whole thing out. But this map has been a work in progress for a long time, therefore it makes sense why it's detailed well. This is why it didn't come out at launch. They've probably been working hard detailing this map, making the gameplay as good as it possibly can be, and that's why it took a couple months after launch for it to release, which, like I said, I'm fine with as long as it comes out well. I don't know why, you know, they can't do this for other games. Like, Activision never likes when they delay stuff, but they allowed them to delay this, which I'm thankful they did, because it was delayed. It was originally supposed to come out much earlier, and it got delayed, which is good, I think, in my opinion, as long as it comes out good. And it did for the most part. There's bugs here and there, as there always is going to be. I'm never going to hold bugs against them unless it's like a major bug that's long-lasting. Other than that, I'm not going to hold bugs against them. The core gameplay itself is really good, I think. Like, I like how the shields work, how they're just plates and how you regen health. I mean, I'm okay with having Blackout system, and the thing is, I don't want to say Blackout is better or Warzone's better because they're both very different. I can tell at this point, they both have very different purposes. The inventory system in Blackout I did like a lot, how you get all these different attachments that you can put onto your weapons and stuff like that. You have all the bandages and the different equipment. But they definitely simplified it in Battle Royale in this game, in Warzone, probably because they knew a lot of casuals would be playing, and I feel like stuff like that does turn people off, like especially with Apex. There's a lot of crazy shit with Apex's inventory system. I was like, what? It honestly motivated me, or demotivated me to want to even play in the first place. If I care enough about the game, of course I'm going to find some time to learn it. Like Blackout, obviously I found time to understand what it was, and I was like, oh, now that's not that bad. Same with Fortnite, but I feel like they want to get as many casual people into their game as possible, so they simplify the system, which I guess is a good thing, because you just get one tactical, one equipment, you get 2 guns, and then you just get your shields. You don't get, like, you don't heal, you know, it automatically heals. You don't have to do it yourself, which I'm okay with, honestly. I don't see it as a bad thing. I think that actually helps out because you're spending less time healing. Instead, you're spending that time putting the shield plates in, which they're very common, which honestly they should be, because they're kind of part of your system now, which the time to kill is much longer because of those shields, which, thank God, I love longer time to kill. It just makes gunfights more valuable, and it's more about who's a better player rather than who shot first, which I really do appreciate. So I really am thankful for how that works. I like the gas and how it looks and how you go out there and you get all fucked up. I like all that, how all that works. I think it makes sense and it plays very, very well. I'm a fan of the looting system and just how you loot. It's nice and quick, it doesn't take too long, and I like the ending game sequence when you win, how it like shows all the players off and stuff like that. That's cool. And of course, the other obvious stuff, I'm glad it's free to play, I'm glad it's cross-play, but that's obvious stuff that we knew for a while. I'm just not gonna go into depth about that. But let's get into stuff I don't like now. So, for starters, I'm not a big fan of the fact that you could just bring your own class from multiplayer in, like, and it has perks. Like, you should be able to earn perks just by playing without those things. In my opinion, I think perks should just be something that kind of like Blackout a little bit, where you put them on for like a certain period of time. You know, I don't know how that would work with the whole inventory that they have set up, but I feel like they can find a way. Or you just hold X and you just equip the perk and you just have it till you die or something like that. I feel like that could be... That could work as well. Just don't do too many perks, don't do too many overpowered perks either. I feel like that'd be more fair. I don't know. I feel like the way it's set up now, I'm not a big fan of. I don't like the fact that there's kill streaks. I would rather they just don't have them at all, honestly, because it's not fun when you're playing and then you get hit by a lightning strike or air strike, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's not fun. I don't like that. too many of those kill streaks, so too many things that make it way too easy. Like a UAV, come on, you should not have a UAV in Battle Royale. I'm okay with the red dots in the minimap when you shoot, but a UAV, like, that's a little bit extreme. That literally gives you the win automatically if you're coming across some dude and you have a UAV. I don't think that belongs here, honestly. I wish there was more iconic locations from the old Modern Warfare games, maybe even like from Ghost and Infinite Warfare. Just add some more iconic locations, and I hope they do that over time. But right now, there's just not enough, in my opinion. I know it's based off of the Spec Ops map that they had for a while, and they have a couple of the Ground War maps and locations from Modern Warfare itself, but I'm talking about like locations from previous games that would be really cool to see back. And on the other hand, people might say, oh, well, I don't want that reused assets, but the map itself, if you look around, there's already a shit ton of reused assets from other portions of the game, so what would hurt in reusing stuff from previous games? I don't think it would hurt that much. I mean, imagine we had like zombies in Spaceland in this map. How fucking awesome would that be? And obviously you make it fit in with the Modern Warfare feel. Obviously you don't want it to look out of place, but they can do that. You know how awesome that would be? I don't know, just give us some iconic places, give us some cool, you know, locations that'll just make the map more fun, in my opinion. I think it would substantially, for sure. And they need to add more playlists, which this is something they're probably going to do eventually anyways, so it's not a big complaint. They need to add solos and quads. I feel like it's, and duos as well. They need to add them. I don't know why they're not in there right now. Also, Plunder, I gotta say, I played it twice and I'm not a big fan, and maybe I have to play it more, but I'm not really enjoying that mode at all. I find it to be really slow paced, like really slow. You're just sitting around doing nothing half the time, at least from my experience. Obviously it could be different for you, it just depends on where you land, I guess, but I played 2 games and it just wasn't fun to me. I don't know, that's just a nitpick, obviously, because I have only played it twice, so it's not really fair to judge it based on that. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Warzone. I really do think it's good, and I think it's going to be a fun mode for a while, but like I said, for the community's sake, I don't think it's going to last that long. I think it'll maybe last a month, and then people will be done with it, and they'll say, oh, I'm going on to the next thing. Oh, the new Black Ops is revealed, I'm excited for that now. I don't care about anything else, I just want this new Black Ops to come out. That's what they're going to be saying, because it's what they say every year. So, which I'm okay with, because I can still play and enjoy Warzone without the whole community playing it alongside me. I don't need everyone to play it. It's just the fact that, I don't know, I feel like I'm really not enjoying Modern Warfare's multiplayer. I have not for a long time. I don't think I've actually enjoyed it since like probably November of last year, which is like 5 months ago. Like, I've been playing it a little bit here and there recently, but like the past couple months, I've just not been enjoying it since November. I really did enjoy the game at launch, especially the campaign. I thought the multiplayer was okay, but I was like, oh, they're going to fix it. They'll overhaul the game, and now we're in March, and a lot of the problems I had 2 months or 3 or 4 months ago are still an issue to me, and I'm just, it's not fun. Spec Ops, I think, is disgustingly trash, and yeah, so Modern Warfare, this definitely makes the game better, because it's still part of Modern Warfare, so it makes the game a lot better, especially because I feel like this is the only thing I'm going to be playing in this game from now on, and it might actually get me to play it more. It might actually get me to care about some of the microtransactions in this game, even though I don't like the microtransactions in this game, because you can't earn them for free, you have to buy them. That's why I actually kind of enjoyed supply drops a teeny bit, because at least it gave you a free way to earn things, and this game does not give you any free ways to earn the items in the shop. There's some items that you can earn for free, of course, that are in the challenges, but there's like 30 maybe items there. It's not that many, and none of them are as cool as some of the shop items, so I don't know. I'm not really thinking about playing this game too much for any long period of time. I'm mainly going to be sticking to zombies and other older COD multiplayers, and getting excited for the next Black Ops, because I feel like Treyarch will not let me down. They really have never let me down to a large extent, so I think I'll be alright with it. Let me know what you guys think about Warzone in the comment section below. I'm assuming most of you enjoy it. A lot of people also aren't enjoying it, but those people, I feel like they played it twice and then just gave up. I mean, you can't judge a mode that quickly. I mean, hell, I've only played it like for 6 hours, maybe like, I don't know, like 10 to 15 games in between that time, maybe probably less. Like, it's hard to judge it this quickly. These are just my first impressions, obviously. Maybe like in a couple weeks I'll make another follow-up video where I talk about how I feel about it, and then it might be different depending on what updates they make over the next couple of days in terms of the playlists and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. It could be just like Blackout, where it's gonna die in like a month, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think it died necessarily. I'm just saying the hype died down. It wasn't completely dead. People still went back to Blackout, especially when Alcatraz came out. That was awesome. And I don't think it needs to have a large, giant Fortnite-like community to succeed. I don't think it needs that at all. So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.